Okay, so if you think the vernier caliper is easy, then the micrometer should not be hard for you as well. Let's jump into the simulation and take a look. Similar to the website you use for vernier caliper, you also have to scroll down and you can find the simulator there. So this is the virtual micrometer. This time the invisible function is working. So if you like, you can hide the number, but then now I'll keep it on first since we are trying to learn this. So actually, when you try to measure something, you have to put your items here. So for example, if you want to measure the thickness of a wood plank, then you just place it there, and then once again you have to turn the knob so that it will be tight fit. Of course, you don't want to be too tight because in that case you kind of drill into the wood, for example. You just have to barely touch it. And in the simulation, I actually have to drag like this horizontally, but in fact this is not right. In the reality, what you do is more like what you do at the top. You have to really have to turn the knob like this. In fact, if you try to see how it turns, you should be able to guess how you can read this. This is slightly more advanced or complicated than the vernier caliper, but it still should be quite easy. So let me just give you an example. So let's say it is 5.25. okay, well, you may see there's a bracket number here. That is something to do with the value that you cannot see using this micrometer. They just somehow want to show you. I don't know why, but then they just want to show you because there are times that even when you have two decimal places, you still can't read it properly. So I guess for simplicity, I'll just set it as 5.25 for now. So I guess obviously you should be able to find out the reading, how it works. So let me give you some time first. Okay, so once again, it is similar to the vernier caliper where you have to add the two numbers together. So the first number that you have to add is actually 5 because basically what you can see in this vertical line is behind the line of 5. So it must be 5 point something because you don't see the next line. So it must be 5 point something instead of 6 point something. And so for that something, as you can guess probably, you have to align the line horizontally this time. So you can see the line that is aligning with the axis of the main scale, that will be the number that you're looking for. So here will be 25 simply. Okay, very simple, isn't it? So let me give you another example. Okay, so here's the next question. I want you to try to figure it out by yourself and then see whether your answers is correct. Okay, so the answer is 12.91 as you can see. Does it match with your answer? Think about why. I'll give you a few seconds. Alright, so obviously I think you know that it is 12 point something because at the top of the main scale you can see 10, 11 and 12 here. And then the next thing that you may see is the horizontal alignment. So you may think that, hey, it should be 41. So if you think that it is 12.41, then you make a mistake because you should pay attention to the lower scale in the main scale also. So this actually means 0.5. So that's why the answer is actually 12 plus 0.5 plus 0.41. So that's how you get 12.91. Okay, so if you are still not confident with the micrometer, you can always go and pause the video now and try as many examples as you like. If you are okay with that already, pause the video also, try these questions.
A few moments later.
So the reading for this, let's say, if I were you, I would write this 5, 6, 7 and not yet 8. So that should be 7 point something. And you should notice that there is a half marking here. So it should be 7 point plus a 0.5 thing, and then the marking here, these should be 24, so it should be 0.5 plus 0.24, that means 7.74. I believe it should be cm. Actually they didn't mention, so if you don't have any unit, I think that's fine as well, but I guess normally is cm. So we have to put down the formula once again. So 7 plus 0.5 plus 0.24 basically. Okay, so this is how we can get the reading. Lastly, the interesting question is about describe and show how you can measure the thickness of a piece of paper accurately. So the main point is you have to do it accurately. So if you simply just take a piece of paper and put it in the micrometer, obviously it cannot tell you any reading because it's just too thin. So the usual way that we do it is probably by measuring multiple pages. So for example, you may say take 100 pieces of paper, and then apparently you are going to measure it. So for example, if say it is 10 cm maybe, so let's say, I mean if you're in the exam you don't have to say an example, but I guess for me to explain, just take an example. So let's say it is 10 cm, and then what you do is simply divide your measurement, your reading by 100. Alright, so that will be 0.1 cm or 1 mm for a piece of paper. So as a summary, we have talked about vernier caliper and also micrometer in these two videos. You may think that, so what's the difference other than the shapes are different? I would say one main feature about these two, or the main difference is, micrometer is actually less handy because you have to keep turning and actually take quite a long time, but then for vernier caliper you just have to slide it in and then you just measure. But the good thing about micrometer is actually more precise. If you try to look at the example of pictures, which is also applicable to most of the vernier caliper and micrometer you can find, you can see the smallest division is actually 0.01, alright, of whatever unit, cm for example. But then for the vernier caliper, if you look at the smallest scale, like the smallest division I should say, this is actually worth 0.05 cm. So if you compare 0.05 cm and also 0.01 cm, obviously micrometer would be more precise because it can tell you more confidently that particular thing is up to that decimal place with that precision level. So micrometer usually will be needed if you want a much higher precision.